Thomas, what's your team news ahead of this game of the weekend?
For N'Golo, it comes a little bit too early, the match. Jorgi is out as well, so these two we are missing. And okay, Callum is still out and Ben Chilwell is still out. That's pretty much it. The rest is available.
We're assessing this top four race on a weekly basis as results change. How are you calling it as of today?
How I call it? Yeah. Well, it's not. This is none of interest how I call it. I don't have a name for it, and I can understand that you assess it all the time. We would rather not be in your assessment, and but we are, and it's our responsibility, and that's why we need another reaction of a reaction. So that's where we are. We had a week to prepare, which was nice. But not nice because we preferred to play Champions League. But it was nice to have the team, to have influence in training, to set the focus on the things we want to improve, and we need to. Well, we want to meet our standards, and we demand a lot from us. I think there are a lot of reasons why it's maybe also sometimes normal to drop in intensity and to drop in. The level of effort, but as we are an elite sports team and an elite sports club, and we compete on a very very high level of this sport, there's not much room for normal behavior. We want elite behavior, and this includes me. So we need to step up, show another reaction, and show that we can play better, we can have more impact and more effort in the matches. And start from there on tomorrow.
And the football continues with the ongoing backdrop of the takeover. What have you been told this week about developments, and are you confident everything is? I've
been told last week that we have a preferred bidder and things are going forward. So it's a pretty important week now for the club, but I was not involved. I was fully focused on the pitch, but after what I heard last week, I'm confident.
What makes you think it is so positive? Have you been given reassurances about the plans for next season, how you can work towards that?
Well, clearance is always the best, because when the situation is clear, you can take actions, and then you can make a judgment and actions, and you can act. Otherwise you're in a passive role. This is what we are. This is we try to make it the smallest issue possible, but it is of course it is always there, and we prepare to have it like in a clear and forward thinking situation, and this is what we're looking for and hoping for, that we know what we deal with, and we know what the circumstances are, and what the circumstances are in improving the team, and that we can act and not react, or even worse, do nothing.
I just wanted to ask you about Romelu Lukaku as well. Obviously didn't come on against Everton when you were needing a goal. Mm-hmm. Just how do you get the best out of him going forward, and do you see a situation that you want him to be part of your squad and can be an important part of your squad next season?
Always, yes and yes. I want him to be an important part of the squad, and he is right now in a very important part of the squad next season. As I just said, there is no way for us to do. There is no recruitments and no players are about to leave, because it's simply not possible. If the situation changes, we need anyway to adapt all the time to contractual situations, to individual situations of the players, to what we want, what we think, and what the development will be. But we signed a big player, and he still is a big player. He didn't come on because we only had 3 changes, and we used one, unfortunately, and had to use one in halftime for Jorgi. Otherwise, there was a huge chance that we would have had the same changes then against West Ham, where he was involved with Hakim and Christian Pulisic to turn the game into our favor. And he trained very well, and maybe starts tomorrow. Let's see.
Last one, Paul.
And what needs to happen for him to have the impact on a consistent basis that you all dreamed of when he made that big money?
What needs to happen for him?
Yeah.
I don't know what Actually, I don't know what needs to happen. He needs to happen. Everybody needs to happen. This is life as a football player on this kind of level. Everybody does the very best, and it's like for every other player. And of course, we do the very best to integrate him. And then it needs to happen. He needs to happen. We need to support him and trust in what we do. It's there is not this one thing that we can provide or we need to find to make this happen. It's about trust, about commitment, about also about the feeling for the game, a bit of luck, game momentum. That's it.
Moose. Thomas, great to meet you. In terms of recruitment, you just said there won't be any. I mean, even if the club is taken over.
I said what?
Recruitment.
Yeah.
You said there won't be any. Is what Moose said.
If the club is taken
There is none in the moment.
Yeah,
not possible.
It will be taken over the club before the transfer window opens.
You say so, but we're not sure, no? But maybe yes.
Okay. If it is, are you already looking for replacements for the likes of Rudiger and Christensen, who we know will be leaving?
Of course, but in the moment it's a very small process. You look at it and that's it. We cannot make contact. We cannot get in touch. We cannot convince nobody. We cannot make an offer. So it's just we're having a look. We have ideas and that's it.
So in terms of your competitors, you're starting the summer and the transfer window.
Yeah.
Way behind in that race.
Yes, we are behind in that race. We said before, yes. But look, it will be maybe a disadvantage, but not a decisive disadvantage. Whatever team it is, we will be competitive because we are competitors and the club will always be strong. So even if things turn out and it's the exactly same squad, we will arrive for the very first match to win the match. We have never done anything else and we will not do anything else. We have ideas and we have clear ideas how to improve, how to freshen up the squad, how to improve the squad, how to bring new energy, new quality. But would not be the first transfer window where you have a wish and you cannot make it as a coach. So we will find solutions, and we first of all we need to adapt to the general situation to see if it's possible and then what's possible.
Regarding the ownership as well and the takeover, would that be an explanation as to some of the recent results the team have had? I mean, does it affect the team, what's happening at that level of the club? It
surely affects the team, but I cannot tell you to which degree. The longer situation goes, I mean, now it has a huge effect because Tony leaves us in the middle of that of the process where we are sanctioned and could not even fight, could not do another offer, could not be in negotiations. So it clearly has an effect, and it makes not so much sense to deny it. We lose now one of our key players, so it is proven it has kind of this effect, and this decision has an effect in the dressing room because Tony is not isolating here when he's here at Cobham and does not talk to anyone. So he is a huge part. He is a leader, and of course the situation is like this, and the situation regarding to the future of every individual player is not that clear. So because there are no talks for nobody at the moment. So yes, we try to minimize that influence. I think it's the most important to accept it and to not use it as an excuse. So if there's a certain degree of distraction, a certain degree of uncertainty, okay, we accept it, but there is still like another 100% to reach, and this is still our level. There are many reasons. There, like also look at our schedule and look like if you come from like the situation was like we come from big knockout matches like against Real Madrid in Wembley, and then you go back suddenly after busy schedule, you go back to the league and play for points, and maybe the team had a bit the feeling that there is like, yeah, we have not so much to win, not so much to lose, and you lose maybe a little bit the edge, and this can already be enough to lose matches, and then you lose a bit the confidence. And so there are many reasons, and it is maybe also normal that it happens, and we are at the same point than in the very beginning, but normal is hard to accept, or maybe not hard to accept for us because we demand more than normal, and we are in a type of elite situation where normal does not bring us to the goals that we demand from ourselves. So we have to fight it, go against it, against ourselves, against normal maybe behavior to drop a little bit and be on back on top level. It starts with physical input from tomorrow on.
And the last one from me. It's a big end to the season because suddenly from being comfortable in third, I don't know whether you're looking at Arsenal and Spurs thinking they could both catch us. And obviously you've got to get some form together because you've got a big cup final next week.
Absolutely. And anyway, what we need to install and what we want to install anyway is like to be in this kind in the mentality and the mindset on a daily basis, or let's say every 3 days, what it takes, whatever it takes, no matter if it's a cup game, if a Champions League game, or it's a normal league game. This is where maybe we need to close the gap as well. So there are reasons for it, like why the gap is that big, and there are reasons like maybe why the teams behind us could catch up. But there's no reason why this should continue like this. So the next moment to stop it is tomorrow, and I'm absolutely convinced that we have also enough reasons and to trust us and to believe in us, and there is no need for major doubts. So what took us there is the most important, and was hard work, determination, big effort, and this is what we need on the highest level, and then we are a competitive team. Once we drop in, like not in significant matters, but a little bit here and a little bit there, we are obviously a team that can also lose or drop points against everybody, and we don't want that.
Lindsay, PLP.
Hi Thomas, just to slightly further expand on the recruitment that was mentioned, just because I know it's been put to you about the gap between Chelsea and Manchester City and Liverpool this season. Is there any fear or worry that you're going to miss out on players that other rivals are maybe going to end up getting? And when you talk about having these plan Bs, is that majorly looking at the loanees that you've got out at the minute and bringing those potentially back?
Well, the loanees have to come back anyway, so there we are very selfish in that, and that's our right. They come back for a point, so we have the pre-season with them, and they can show that they can play the role that they wish for, and they are our players, so they are back anyway. And whoever takes a place needs to do anything to keep the place, and the race is on from first day in pre-season. But I think in general it is like the teams we are looking at, and the top two teams, of course, they bring quality also from outside. You need to be very good in recruiting, very good in scouting, very good in decision making, all of us, to sign the players who are like the best fit, who bring the mentality, the mindset, the positional profile that you need to improve the squad, because it's also here on a very high level, and who need to help us to install a kind of a consistency, because we are capable of producing big moments, big matches, big weeks, but we lack, and like I said, there are reasons for it, not only in the last weeks but also through the season, and for some reasons we are not to blame, for injuries and for COVID situations where we were a bit unlucky how it hit us, and that's it. But there's no major doubt, and there's for sure no fear, because we're still talking about sports, and I'm in general a very positive person, and a person that believes that things will turn out in a good way, because it's in our hands to make them good. So whatever comes and whatever will come, we will start the next season at some point in early July as Chelsea Football Club, and whoever's on the training pitch will need to be ready, that we push him to the limit, and we will be in there for 100% and ready for the fight. We will never give in before, and we will never make excuses, but a part of being competitive is, of course, also being competitive in signings and being competitive on the transfer market. Of course, it's also reality.
Last one, Lindsay.
Just one more from me, just ahead of the weekend with Wolves. They've had a very mixed season, certainly ending it quite indifferent to how they have been at different periods.
Yeah.
Does that make it difficult for you to know what to expect from Wolves this weekend?
Yeah, a little bit. They had problems in the very beginning with the results, and then they were very, very strong over a large part of the season. They struggled with results in the last weeks, Obviously, everybody sees that. This is a given. If you go a bit deeper into the statistics and deeper in the analyzing of the game and the matches of them, you see that it's still very, very difficult to create chances. It's very difficult to bypass their defenders. They defend very, very disciplined, and we will not. For me, it's not possible to hurt them by pure ball possession. We experienced that kind of game in the first match, where we struggled a bit in the first half with their structure on the ball. We didn't allow anything. We defended very well, but we struggled also to create. So we need to be very aware of the moments where it's possible to accelerate the game. It's so far in the season and also in the last matches almost impossible to catch them on a counter-attack, because they protect them. They are very well protected when they attack. So it is. We need a good mix between patience and still, while we are patient, we need to we need to try to play a high rhythm, that we don't get the feeling that everything gets a bit stuck. So we will try to implement a high rhythm, and I expect like their core performance of discipline and very well structured team.
I don't know if you saw Christian Pulisic's dad, his tweet, which was then deleted, but he was saying that he said that Christian's he's in a sad situation, and his dad talked about his love for the club, his teammates in London. He did delete it, obviously, and also it's not Christian saying that, so I understand there's a distinction there. But is there an issue there? Conspicuous by the absence in the tweet was he didn't say that Christian loves you, but I can understand the player doesn't love a manager if he's frustrated with being out of the team. Right?
I'm not concerned if a father does not say that the player does not love me. I'm not concerned about that. For sure not.
Is everything right there? And I mean, obviously,
with me and the father.
No, with Christian.
Maybe not. I don't know.
With Christian, obviously, it's a good thing if players are frustrated if they're not playing. Right?
It's a normal thing.
But is there a line, and is he on the right side of it?
Of course, it's a normal thing, but like every manager, we have our reasons to choose for lineup, and we have our reasons to go for players in the first 11, and you will never see on this kind of level of competition happy faces from players who are not selected. Between me and Christian exists zero problem. He had a fantastic training week so far. He is in some matches a huge impact from the bench, and for him and for everybody else, and it has absolutely nothing to do with any tweet or any reaction from agents or fathers or whatever. I didn't even know it, because I don't want to get affected by it in my judgment, because it has nothing to do with it. The players in the end are responsible to be in the team and stay in the team, and I will do my very best to do the right judgment. Am I always right? For sure not. Is it always fair? For sure not. So, but this is also what you sign up for in a club like Chelsea. And then I haven't experienced the same reaction from Christian lately. Was actually the opposite. He's very strong, very positive in the last weeks.
Okay, last question in the broadcast, Simon.
Hey Thomas, given what you were saying earlier about Rudiger and the cost of sanctions, does that make getting Thiago Silva that deal done nice and early like a good thing, that you're relieved that was done before this all happened, and the importance of his leadership next season?
Yeah, but every decision you do and you're convinced is a good decision, no matter when you do it. For nobody could see that this kind of situation is coming, and we are sanctioned and cannot react and cannot act on the transfer market and cannot act with our players. And so, of course, we are happy because we wanted to do it, and we did it in a moment where we could. It was not done because a sanction was coming. It was done because we were convinced. And this is the most important, that we have a reason, and the player wants to stay, and he sees his role, and we see, of course, his influence. It will be a huge challenge for Thiago also. So we are aware of his that he is not in the beginning of his career, and it will be also a huge challenge for him to keep the level up. So yeah, stays like this, is a good decision. It has nothing to do with the sanctions.
Okay, we'll leave it there.